Now, some of you may be asking, what in fact is a tuba anyway? We have a whole lot of different sized instruments up here that all look very different. Well, basically a tuba is a low-pitched brass instrument with what we call a conical board. What makes it a brass instrument, even though most of them are now made of brass, what really makes them a brass instrument is how you produce your sound, which is a rude sound called buzzing your lips. Many of us have graduate degrees in that subject. And this is done into a mouthpiece. There's a length of tubing, flared end, called the bell, but they all have a widely flared conical tube. If you stretched out a trumpet or a trombone, it would be largely a cylinder that flared right at the end. They tend to be more brilliant sounding. The tuba family of instruments, going all the way from the flugelhorn down through alto horns, baritones, euphoniums, and tubas, all have this wide flare that gives them this wonderful, wonderful mellow sound. Now, on the top parts we have baritone horns and euphoniums. The difference between them is kind of hazy. Generally, a baritone is considered to be a little bit smaller tubing, 3 valves, sometimes 4. There are even some other more esoteric versions. Where's our English baritone? Can you stand up? This is, for example, a British brass band instrument. You can see it's very small. It's a real beautiful classic instrument. We have, for example, these 2 instruments here, belt front, baritones. You stand up. There we go. And then a more traditional euphonium would be like these couple instruments here. And you can also stand up. Thank you. You can see it has 4 valves, it has an upright bell. So would all of our baritone and euphonium players please stand up? Yay! Thank you. Now, what's normally called a tuba is a bigger instrument, usually pitched a 1/4 to an octave lower than the baritones and euphoniums. Your standard concert tuba sits in your lap, points up into the air. Sometimes you'll have one where the bell is angled forward. I think we have one somewhere way back there. There it is. Most of the rest of them are standard tubas with the upright bells. And would all of our tubas stand up? This is the first year ever at Tuba Christmas where one other species didn't make an appearance. And everybody says, well, what about that thing that they carry on their shoulder and has the big bell that you see at football games? That is a kind of tuba as well. It's called a sousaphone. And for some odd reason, out of the 73 people here today, none of them have sousaphones. Never happened before, but when you go home, turn on college football, and you'll see dozens of them. Now, the British have left us with one of the great traditions of carols, and we're going to do 2 of the carols from Britain now. One that goes all the way back, maybe even attributed to King Henry VIII, Greensleeves, known as various other titles, a New Year's Carol, The Old Year Now Away Has Fled, also sometimes called What Child Is This, a very beautiful arrangement. And then we're going to do the very jolly wassailing song, Deck the Halls. Wassailing was a tradition where they would wander down the streets and sing carols at people's door and be rewarded by some mead or Guinness or whatever people were doling out at their doorways. So now 2 English carols.
Thank you.